All right, last question. Favorite game that you saw at the conference?
Like, period?
Yeah.
All right, wait, in the conference or in today? In the Microsoft?
In the Microsoft.
Favorite. This is the thing, is I really want to play Phantasy Star Online 2. That game exists. It's out already. But like, this is, I think is valuable to me in my own thinking about my own like taste. The reason I flipped when that was shown was I know a lot about that game already.
Right.
I know how it works. I know how it plays. I know what classes I've been dying to play for 5 years. And so knowing that already is what's going to get me excited, because I can tell you about that game. I can tell you the sort of experience I want to have. And that to me is always going to get me more excited than the vague promise of something because of a tone or something. Like, especially, like, I can't imagine, like, I like the Gears games, but that Gears segment was rough. Like,
right.
there were
a lot of like weirdly lots of CG trailers for games that could have just had game demos.
I hope so. Yeah, I would hope.
Like Cyberpunk as well. It was like
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess maybe they know that game's interesting enough to like, yo, they're gonna follow the arc they did last year of show it to the press, get a bunch of big reactions, and then shove it on YouTube rather than the enterprise conference.
At Gamescom. You know, so.
I guess similarly to Austin, like the Blair Witch thing, like because like watching that trailer, part of the Blair Witch mythology is like, and what works in that first movie is like they get lost, you go through a cycle again, and it's like that's supposedly that the pitch of the trailer is like he gets out of the woods and then enters the woods again. So like that's making me think, oh, what kind of games? And the press release had like a little line. It was like, oh, this game is going to take note of what you're watching and reacting to, like, and like, what does that mean? It's like, well, I'm spending a lot of time looking at this, or if I turn away from this really fast, is the game going to suddenly like incorporate more of that into like a subsequent run till you get like the true run? I don't know, but like that gets me excited to think about like what like an interesting horror developer could do with that. And that game comes out on August 30th, which is like, okay, so something I can think about now, I can think concretely about it now, because I know it's close, so whatever they're showing me is deeply reflective of like the game they're building and basically finishing. Mm-hmm. So stuff like that gets me excited, because like the reason Halo is disappointing is like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Like that's next holiday, like okay, like whereas Blair Witch, even though it may not be, who knows if it'll be any good, but I can think through why I should be interested in it and get excited about that.
What about you, Rob?
I think for me, this is weirdly enough the most exciting and unexpected thing I saw there was a flight simulator. This thing's been gone forever, and they did try to do sort of a half-assed return to that with Microsoft Flight. Remember that?
Yeah.
And and that got dragged because Flight Simulator was for people who basically like you weren't a pilot, but you wanted to like live that life. Yeah. And it was incredibly detailed, like high fidelity. To have them bring that back, like if this is a real flight simulator game, you can't just whip one of those up. You don't just like pull one of those out of, pardon the pun, but like out of thin air. That takes a lot of like research and specialization. So for that to pop up again, I'm curious, like does that mean like Microsoft Flight Sims are going to be a thing again? Mm-hmm. But I think in the context of the moment where they rolled it out, that was in the showing the value of like the expanded Xbox Games Pass and like Age of Empires 2. And so that was the other part of what was exciting about that brief trailer and then its context was it was kind of this return to glory days of Microsoft on PC. Right. And so when I see something like that, and I'm thinking about like Microsoft is at this moment where they're contemplating what the future of their games brands are, I'm thinking, oh shit, they're speaking directly to the customers they were able to count on 15, 20 years ago and basically cut off with the transition to the Xbox era. Are they winding the clock back to that and saying, no, we want to have it all? PC, Xbox, everything.
That is maybe the actual biggest thing for me is just like thinking about a fully featured PC game subscription program with the sort of stuff that they've talked about, Imperator Rome, Football Manager. Those are both games for PC players. Right. Those are both games.
It's a hyper-specific pitch.
Totally, 100%. They said like 100 games on the.
They're like specially curated.
Right, exactly. So not just shooters that you can happen to play them on PC. So that is, I talked about this last time on the podcast. Like that subscription model is disruptive, which is not a word I like to use because it's been poisoned. But it is so distinct from the traditional model of buying a game that I'm curious about what it does to game production in the long term. And I don't know, this isn't me being like, and that's why I'm an advocate for it, but it is me going like, that is something new and something different, and so that, let's see. Like, and also, as someone who plays PC games, being able to spend $10 a month on that, yes, I'm gonna do that. I'm absolutely gonna do that instead of buying Imperator. Like, yes, done, check, let's go, you know, so.
Well, then it does almost make the case for what's the other thing they're going to have trouble articulating is the whole, like, the new Xbox is going to be sort of a cloud, but it's your cloud, and it comes,
Right.
like, it's tough for me to imagine, like, what does that mean? What utility does it have? But if the proposition is, I can be at a place like this where the internet's a little shaky, I'm a little bit off, like, away from all my gaming rigs, and suddenly it's, oh, we can basically, like, do you just want your PC games library with you? Suddenly that convenience does become meaningful to me in a way that, like, shorter load times does not.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for letting us hang out. And hey, thanks for all the cheesesteaks.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were good.
They're delicious.
The pizza fries were, like the Halo trailer, a little disappointing.
Yeah, exactly. We got some good stuff in there as well. Enjoy Microsoft.
Absolutely.
We're going to go to Bethesda. And this isn't going to be in the bid anyways.